I just had the chance to talk to one of the coolest octogenarians I have ever met. His name is Adger Cowans. He's an accomplished photographer and he's 87 years old. But what most people don't know about him, and there is virtually nothing written about, is the fact that alongside his photography, he has been painting for decades. So when I was asked by an auction house in St. Louis to talk to him about his paintings, I jumped on the chance. This wasn't a format I had done before, and initially I thought I might not even put it on this channel. But Adger is so awesome, and I thought it turned out pretty good. So if you're into art, and I don't know why you'd be watching this channel if you weren't, I thought you might like to meet Adger.
I mean, I have friends who come and get my paintings and they say, just let me hang it in the house for a while. I can never get them back. They say, oh, you're going to take it? It's only been here a month. I just recently had a friend who had a painting. She didn't want to give it back. And I said, you got to give it back. She said, but I get up in the morning and it inspires me. Well, that to me says everything. That says everything to me. I said, you going to pay for it? She said, yes. I think that I always listen to jazz when I'm working and when I'm not working. Music is on in my house and studio all day long. So it's just part of my life, It's not separate. Music and art and jazz is all part of my whole life. Music, every note has a color. And I think that I use those notes and those colors in my work as a painter. And I like all the strong ones, especially my contemporaries, Al Loving, Ed Clark, Peter Bradley, William T. Williams, all those Jack Whitten, Bill Hudson, David Hammonds, Frank Boldings, Wilfredo Lam, Danny Johnson, all these people define their own destiny, regardless of what people had to say about it. And that's the strength that I get from looking at their work, their individualism. I think that if I had to say I took something from somebody in terms of a style, I guess Kandinsky is the one that freed me to be myself because of his work. Not that I copy his work, but his spirit. It's all, I don't know, it's emotional for me, it's spiritual for me. Something happens inside of me in that moment. And I go in the studio and I put something down, I put the colors down, and they take me somewhere. And I have to go with it. I say, well, are you gonna brush it down or are you gonna fling it down? Or what do you, and all of these things come into play. Because I'm gonna comb it, all these things come in to me as I'm working. And I work from that energy. I leave the canvas open for them to explore with their experience, you see. And I find that works best because then people come back and tell me how they feel or how they think. They don't say, oh, you did this and did it. When did you do? No, they come back and say, oh, Adger, I like that color. I really feel something about that. I would like to, hang that in my house. But for me, all art is abstract. Even so-called realism, because you look at an apple, it's not the apple. You're painting your idea of the apple. It may look like an apple, but you're putting your emotion on what that apple looks like. So to me, it's all abstract. We are abstracting from life all the time, So to me, all art is abstract. But yes, they did have to defend themselves against the larger world audience, even the black people. black people, they weren't buying that abstract work. I think that at the time, the idea that a black man could paint anything in terms of the white world was like, what? They were slaves. How could they paint anything? Yeah, of course, they forgot all about ancient Egypt and all that stuff. Ancient Egypt, they forgot all about that. But African Americans coming here in slavery, the idea of you're able to do anything that was artistic and creative was like they couldn't accept you on that level. You see, so they got a lot of criticism for what they did because the artists who were doing the Harlem Renaissance pictures of black people in different situations, etc., was what was being accepted by the larger art world. So a lot of Romy started out doing abstract work, but he didn't make it doing abstract. He switched up. He switched up. But some of Romy's original abstract work is beautiful, but nobody was going to buy it. They wanted, more things like what Jacob Lawrence was doing. The idea of like dealing with your people. You are a conduit to your people. You represent your people. I represent the human race. Fuck all that bullshit. I'm a human being. I'm black, yes, but I don't paint because I'm black. I paint because I'm an artist. Period. I can remember talking to different artists I know will walk in the gallery. Ed Clark told me about going to the gallery to show his work. And the woman laughed at him. She said, this is nothing. Peter Bradley, another example, walking into a gallery and people looking at his work and say, oh, well, this is not black art. I don't know what this is. Take that out of here. That was their feeling. They were not relating to the work. They were relating to the man. That you couldn't do this kind of stuff. I had a guy tell me, I can't sell your abstract work. I have a hard time selling abstract work by white artists. And I said, really? I said, you're crazy. He said, no. He said, it's true. He said, white people don't want to buy abstract work by black artists. I said, I don't think that's true. That's just bullshit. That's racism. But to me, the job for me was to do the work, not try to get a gallery, not try to impress somebody to sell my work. No, my job was to do the work. If I did the work, when somebody came along, they would understand what it was, and then it would work. Otherwise, it wasn't going to work. If it worked in my lifetime, fine. If it didn't work in my lifetime, fine. You don't become an artist to be famous. You don't become an artist to be known. You become an artist because it's what you do. It's what your spirit demands. And there's no price on that. There's no price on that. It's joyous work, is the way I see it. It's joyous work. And it's joyous in the sense of jazz, the changes, As what's his name? Ted Jones said, jazz is my religion. And I transfer that in the painting, Jazz and painting is my religion.